Going out to eat is one of the obstacles that I hear most from my clients that they're not going to track because they're not sure what's in the food. And so I first just want to caution against an all or nothing mentality. There's still so much benefit in trying to track the food as best you can and learning from that versus just throwing up your hands and not tracking it at all. So here are some tips and tricks on how to track when you go out to eat. First of all, I'm going to click on log. And then when I go, the first thing I can do is that sometimes there are restaurants and chain places that are already going to be entered into the database of MyFitnessPal. So, say for example, I get something at Chipotle, I can type in Chipotle and then search. And then at the top, there's sometimes the entire menu there. So if you see the search results in the gray area, it says Chipotle Mexican Grill menu and choose from 62 menu items. I can click on that. And then from there, I can scroll down and I can say, okay, I had a tortilla, I had some barbacoa, I had some black beans, etc. So that's one way to do it. But if that section doesn't come up, you'll still see, and then I'm going to show more results, some options down below. So there's, if you want to enter something really quickly and you had something like the double chicken bowl at Chipotle, you can click on that plus mark and add it directly that way. You can also use this if you go to some place that's like Chipotle, but maybe doesn't have the chain restaurant verification. And so all of the items aren't in there. And so if I go to some place that's like Chipotle and I get some of these things, I could use that as a marker to add those things as well. The next thing that you could do is if you go to a restaurant and you have something that is slightly more complicated in the ingredients, it's not just rice, salsa, black beans, and chicken. It's maybe something like a chicken curry that has many, many ingredients in it, or maybe Thai food or something like that, where you have a lot of ingredients. What you can do is instead of worrying about each individual ingredient, just search for the menu item. So I'm going to put in chicken curry as an example. Chicken curry has a lot of different ingredients in it. I'm going to search. And then if I show more results, I'm going to see that there are some different options here for chicken curry. I'm probably going to pick a green one, and I'm probably not going to pick one that says Weight Watchers in it because that's going to be maybe artificially low in calories or low in fat. And I can scroll down and I can see the options and I can pick something that seems the most accurate. Now, when we're going out to eat, it's most likely that the calories in that meal are going to be somewhere between 700 and 1100, maybe even more calories, depending on what you get. So just be realistic about it and know that if something says, say, for example, this top one, 243 calories in a cup of chicken curry, that might be correct, but you probably didn't have just a cup of it. It's going to be a much bigger serving. Also, remember that you might need to add rice to it. So if you had chicken curry with rice, you might need to add that rice separately. The other thing to think about when you're going out to eat is that chefs at restaurants are always adding fat to their food. Fat makes things taste good. It also makes it really easier to cook. So if I'm going out to eat and say I get a grilled salmon, I'm going to go actually in a different spot where there's nothing already tracked. I'm going to go to grilled salmon. And then, okay, maybe I had a 6 ounce portion. That sounds about right at a restaurant. And then I had it was served with some quinoa that was just cooked. And it's probably closer to a cup. Let's say I have a cup of cooked quinoa. And then maybe I had some like broccolini with it. Like we went to a really nice, healthy restaurant. And let's say these were sauteed. So sauteed broccolini, 30 calories for 3 ounces, half a cup, something like that. That sounds okay. Let's do one serving of that. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So that looks like 600 calories, 45 grams of carbs, 25 grams of fat, and 47 grams of protein. Now, if I click on the grilled salmon, that has 21 grams of fat, but that is a high fat fish. And so it might not be including the fat that's already in it. If I see the sauteed broccolini, there's 0 grams of fat. And so that's actually not including any of the oil it might be cooked with. And then, of course, the quinoa doesn't have any of that fat added to it as well. 3.6 grams is a small amount. It's just what's in the quinoa itself. And so when I go out to eat, I have to log more. I have to log fat, and I'm just going to put in olive oil. It really doesn't matter which oil you use because we don't know which they're using for the purposes of tracking your macros, because all oils are going to have the same macros per tablespoon. Some might have more saturated fat, some more monounsaturated fat, but the total fat grams will be the same. When I go out to eat, I like to include a minimum of 1 tablespoon and maybe 2 tablespoons if it feels a little bit more glistening, and 3 tablespoons of oil if it feels oily. But at a minimum, if something seems like on the drier side, I'm going to log at least 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to log that, and now you can see a more realistic total amount for that dinner. So it's really, really important to track extra fat when you're going out to eat because the chef is absolutely going to be using more of that. I hope that helps.